Nnenna Elendu Ukejje, member representing Bende Federal Constituency. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm from Abia State. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank the mover of this motion. But let me say, Mr. Speaker, sir, that both by title, by content, and by prayers, Mr. Speaker, sir, this motion fills me with a sense of deja vu. Every week, Mr. Speaker, we have motions exactly like this. Every week we're on our feet to observe a minute's silence for people who have been killed from different parts of the country. Mr. Speaker, sir, hitherto the conversation was about Boko Haram and terrorism. It was confined to the Northeast. But Mr. Speaker, sir, every constituency, every geographical zone, every state in this country is beset with incidents such as this. Mr. Speaker, in my constituency in Bende, we have marauding headsmen, we have conversations like this. In Enugu, in the north, in Jos, in Taraba, in Kaduna, in Kano, everywhere in this country, in Lagos, in Osun State, in Ogun State. Mr. Speaker, no part of this country is exempt from this type of thing. And so, Mr. Speaker, what it means in essence is that what we're battling is not terrorism. Mr. Speaker, what we're battling is not kidnapping, because we talked about that on the Kaduna Expressway. It's not in Kaduna. Mr. Speaker, it's not herdsmen in Taraba or in Jos or in, anywhere in Plateau or in Benue. Mr. Speaker, the truth of the matter is that this motion could be anywhere in the 36 states of our country or in the 774 local governments of our country. What does that mean in essence, Mr. Speaker, sir? I am very sad to say that unfortunately the bottom has fallen out of our security apparatus. Mr. Speaker, my colleague just said Nigeria is on the brink. People have used different phrases to describe what is happening in our country. People have spoken about collusion. People have spoken about an overstretched military. People have spoken about an under-policing of the state. People have talked about the nomenclature of the Nigerian military. People have alluded that it may be because of invasion, and some people even said our country has been invaded without us declaring war and without them firing a gunshot. They've taken over our country. That is what certain people allude to. So when we look at everything from our border policing, to immigration, to migration, to the police, under policing of the state, to the fatigued, battle-weary soldiers, under-financed, under-equipped military. Mr. Speaker, sir, the truth of the matter is that we can sit down here every day and have those conversations, very emotionally, motive conversations about the things that happen to our fellow citizens. But, Mr. Speaker, unless and until we as Parliament, we as representatives of the people, sit down and call it exactly what it is and seek ways to deal with it in a whole-scale manner, Mr. Speaker, sir, unfortunately, we may just be offering echo again and no commitment. Mr. Speaker, what is the census of the number of Nigerians who have been killed in Nigeria this year in things like this? Where are the prosecutions for the people who have done this thing? Mr. Speaker, if it is because there are people who have flouted or breached our borders, what have we done to strengthen our borders? What are we doing in ECOWAS to talk about free movement of goods and services and people? Mr. Speaker, what are we as a country doing? I am tired, Mr. Speaker, of standing up every day and offering a minute's silence. It is tokenism. The dead now don't want our respect, Mr. Speaker, sir. They want us to stand up and do something. They don't want us to be quiet for 1 minute anymore. They want us to start to call it what it is. We must start to speak. Call it what it is, Mr. Speaker. The silence is deafening. Therefore, my dear colleagues, I believe that it is time for that special committee on security to come up immediately with its report, with its recommendations, so that we as a House know what it is we're supposed to do moving forward. It is not enough, Mr. Speaker. Yes, I'll stand up yet again and offer yet another minute of silence. But, Mr. Speaker, sir, we as Parliament must start to do practical things. The silence has gone on for long enough. Thank you.